Hi, friends. Good evening. Very happy to be amidst all of you and share my thoughts on the topic Change Your Story, Change Your Life. My experiences have been enormous and more related to this topic. Hence, I take this as a great opportunity to share my views. At the outset, I thank Dr. Suresh Gaur who has given me this opportunity to be amidst all the lovely friends and be a part of public relations online for this opportunity. Well, many of us are constantly striving professionally and personally to reach a certain level. It could be on health, relationship, career, and money. But let us not forget we are already producing it, but not to the extent we are supposed to. We may think it's because of situations and people, but they are only triggers for us to experience our patterns. If our internal emotional pattern is positive, then definitely we would not blame it on the external circumstances. I have a beautiful incident about Mahatma Gandhi ji to be quoted here. Eknath Ishwaran, Indian author, he says, in the year 1931, Mahatma Gandhi ji visited United Kingdom to address at the House of Commons. And this was for almost 2 hours. After he finished, the London reporters clustered around Gandhiji's secretary, Mahadev Desai, and asked him, how is it possible for him to speak so well without any notes, without any prompters? Mahadev Desai replied, Gandhiji, what Gandhi thinks, what he feels, what he says, and what he does are all the same. Then he said, we think one thing, we feel one thing, we say one thing, and act another way. There is no alignment. So we need to keep notes. We need to keep a track. This is just an example of ourselves, my dear friends. Magic happens when we know what we want. What you tell yourself is what you believe. Tony Robbins, my mentor, he says, the only thing that makes you get and not get what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. We are all great storytellers when it comes to our limiting beliefs. We tell ourselves favorite stories with unshakable conviction that they get ingrained in ourselves, and sometimes this becomes an excuse for us not to move away from our comfort zone. Now, what is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is one, or I could call it a thought, which stops us from achieving what we want. It's more connected to the reptilian, the very old, the remotest brain of us. It limits our capabilities and our fullest potential. I would call it the arrested intelligence. Dr. Bruce Lipton, one of the best sellers, he wrote the book called The Biology of Belief. In this book, he says most limiting beliefs are developed during childhood. From birth to 7 years, the child is almost in an hypnotic state. And the kid is almost like a sponge which absorbs everything, whatever is told, the emotions, the patterns, the good behaviors, the bad behaviors, etc. etc. Children treated with love and with a lot of values develop the belief that they are loved and they are being wanted. But children who are abused and neglected will develop the belief that they are unworthy and unwanted. And that is how the limiting beliefs in each of us develop. We all have kids everywhere. We need to take care what we talk and see to it. It's not our right to put an end to their beliefs. We cannot limit their beliefs. We have no right to do that. There are different types of limiting beliefs, dear friends. And this helps us in our survival, existence, and living. The first one is called the tribal limiting belief. The name tribal itself tells us you are a part of a tribe, and the minute you're thrown out of the tribe or you're rejected, you end, your life ends. That is the tribal limiting belief. For example, we say, if I don't get it, I'm finished. Nothing good ever happens to me. Isn't it okay to fail? It is okay to fail. Failure is not a shame. In fact, it's a success. We need to have what is known as the bounce back mindset. Otherwise, do you think Oprah Winfrey, Steven Spielberg, or Steve Jobs, or Amitabh Bachchan would have bounced back? They made it big after doing away with the tribal belief system. Well, the next limiting belief, I would say, they are limiting beliefs regarding our health. My metabolism isn't right. Never tell these words. And there are limiting beliefs on relationship. I'm not good enough. I wouldn't get a partner. I don't have a right person, doesn't exist for me. I'm scared of being rejected. And there are limiting beliefs with regard to arranged marriages and love marriages. I wish it wasn't an arranged marriage. No, you can work on anything. Well, and there are limiting beliefs on your career. Salaries are frozen. The job market is tight. There are no job openings. These are again the limiting beliefs, which narrows our personality. And coming to the next, we have limiting beliefs on money. We say there's no abundance. And also, we say abundance is anti spiritual. Who said that? These are the myths. In fact, scarcity is anti spiritual. Lord Krishna says, I am prosperity amongst those who desire prosperity. And there are people who say, I can't grow spiritually if I grow materialistically. There would be problems. Mahatria says, show me any religious place in the world which is poor. Tirupati isn't poor. Vatican City isn't poor. Ramakrishna Mutt isn't poor. Mecca isn't poor. No. These are myths, the limiting beliefs which we have accumulated in our system. They magnetize abundance. We cannot have negative opinion about rich people and become rich. These are dual standards. And in NLP, we call it as mixed association. It will not work. If we are going to work like this, never ever will we be able to attract money. We would continue with our limiting beliefs. With my materialistic wealth, each one of us can do so much more to the whole world than to ourselves. Bigger the goal, bigger the vision, bigger am I going to grow. Yes, that is a logic, right? Well, the limiting beliefs, the list goes on and on and on. We have limiting beliefs about the world, we have limiting beliefs about ourselves, we have limiting beliefs about our neighbors, our friends, and we have so many limiting beliefs. One day, or at least for an hour, let us each explore ourselves and find out what are the limiting beliefs which are stopping us. What are the limiting beliefs which are in our personality? They create a lot of havoc. There is one more limiting belief, which is called the entitled limiting belief. In fact, this is actually very empowering, but you'll have to use it very carefully because sometimes it doesn't allow you to move from your lazy zone or from your comfort zone. What is this empowering, entitled limiting beliefs? Oh, the world is so lucky to have me. My organization is very fortunate to have me as its employee. Good, no doubt. But it should not turn into arrogance. And this will stop you also sometimes. The downside, it would stop you from growing because you think you're the monarch, you're everything, and you don't tend to grow. Well, now, how to identify limiting beliefs? You have to identify the limiting beliefs. What are they? You can ask a few questions, self, and find out if you have limiting beliefs. What are the areas of my life I'm afraid of to take action? What are the areas which I have to improve? Where do I want to be in each area of my life? Could be the physical life, your social life, your professional life, your money, any life of your mental life, anything. Do I complain often or do I blame others or myself for what has not happened? These are the questions you need to ask yourself to identify the limiting belief. Do I complain often? Do I blame others? Am I mostly negative and moody? Do I suffer from anxiety or depression? Do I have a very low self esteem? Or do I lack self confidence? These are the questions you can ask yourself. Well, you've asked now. How do you overcome the limiting beliefs? We also need solutions. First and foremost, challenge the limiting belief by looking for evidence. That is why I said in a day, at least an hour, if you could spend like looking at the evidences you have created saying that you have these limiting beliefs. Once you have identified the limiting beliefs, now change your behavior accordingly. Let us say, suppose you aren't sociable or I'm ain't sociable. What do? I need to challenge myself. Look out. I should start networking and catch up with some of my friends and colleagues. Yeah, I could try that. Then the third is reinforce positive beliefs through auto suggestions or visualization. Okay? If I'm not sociable, yes, I, Geeta, I'm becoming more and more sociable. Say it with a lot of vigor, say it with a lot of energy. Then Become your own cheerleader. You have to cheer yourself. Don't look out for others. You be your own cheerleader. Tell yourself you're amazing even when you fail. In fact, when you were little children, didn't you remember? We all used to say, Mama, I'm the best. I'm the queen. I'm everything. I'm the king. Yeah, we were our own cheerleaders. But slowly, when we grew up, what happened? We forgot all those pranks and the childhood g- games which we were playing. And we are so much involved in our own activities. Well, next is always friends. Now, you have tried to ask a few questions, you have identified your limiting beliefs, and you're trying to overcome it. Now, you must understand that the entire universe is made up of energy. Energy, when I say, it could be a physical energy, the mental energy, your emotional energy, energy related to your health, anything. And universe is made up of all this energy. It is all around us. We are not catching it. And energy level is the same for everyone. It's not that my energy is more or your energy is less. It's the same for almost every one of us. But only the frequency is different. Energy is like almost like radio waves. You don't see it, you pick it up. You can pick up positive energy, you can also pick up negative energy. When the frequency matches energy, the highest energy wins. Yes, if you put health as your highest energy, it wins. As I told you, even negative energy wins. If you put negative thoughts, you attract negative people. They knock at your door. They will ring your calling bell and they will come inside because it is a frequency. You have the frequency of negativity in you and it matches your frequency. You'll be able to attract them. So it's almost like a radio waves, I told you. So now what should you do? You have to change the frequency of the radio, tune on the radio. It's like the music we play. People listen to music and then they come to our lives. You know the Pied Piper? I remember when I was young, I've read Pied Piper's story. In a village, there were so many rats, and every time the rat population increased, Pied Piper was called to blow. He had a what do you call that? He had a long a musical instrument, and he used to blow. And all the rats would follow him, and then he'll take them to the water and get them drowned. But now it's not like that. So, like a Pied Piper, we should be able to attract. And later on, when Pied Piper was not paid, what did he do? He played the music and brought all the children, attracted all the children, and took them away. So, we are all Pied Pipers, my dear friends, in our lives. And also, believe me, we all have a limited bandwidth of perception and beliefs. Beyond the bandwidth, we don't stretch. This is my bandwidth. My eyes, what they can see, my nose, what they can smell, my olfactory, my gustatory, my taste. What I have tasted only I will know. What I have smelt, what I have heard. So there is a limited bandwidth. I don't expand myself more than this. Okay, so how do we look at the world? We look at the world as how we are and not as how it is. So naturally, the world is not limited. Our bandwidth is limited. If someone's salary is a lakh of rupees, he believed that he is not capable of drawing more than a lakh per month. But what does he say? He says, my organization cannot pay. Difference is there not because of capabilities at all. but because of our skills. We are very fortunate, my dear friends, to be born as human beings with a sixth sense, with a lot of sensory acuity or self awareness. Man, have you ever noticed that man alone is vertical? Animals are horizontal. We have to be a meaningful, specific. Beyond a stage, nobody need to encourage us. Nobody need to compliment us. And nobody need to criticize us because we know what we are. Yes, we are to develop and master our skills, says Suresh. Yes, absolutely. You will understand what your black spots are. As you're talking, you can edit. You will know why you're crying, why you're happy, why you're laughing. So we are all there. We know because we have developed our sensory acuity and we need to develop and master our sensory acuity. Next, I'm going to talk something about little bit of depression because most of the people around us, they say they are depressed. I'm not talking about people who suffer from mental illness. Yes, if you are depressed, an ordinary person, if he or she is depressed, it is because we created it. Do you know? Emotions like depression do not happen to anyone. We don't catch depression. It's not that it is available here, there, everywhere, and you go catch it. You created it, or I created it, or we created it through specific mental and physical actions. Our body language, our posture, the way we look at people, the way we smile at them, all those tell us there's something wrong. Do you know it takes a lot of effort to create a state like depression? It's not easy. It's hard work and it requires certain actions. Many people have created it because on their own and they have developed it as a limiting belief or they've almost developed it like a habit. Yeah, and it is so easy. It is a pattern now with them. So it is easier for them to produce. They create, they recreate, they keep on recreating it. It has almost become like an internal communication for them to external events. Somebody says something, they become depressed. They go see something, they get depressed. They hear something, they get depressed. And why? Because it is a pattern they have cultivated and it has become a habit, like having chai or coffee. Because, as you say, it's difficult to catch but easy to practice. And because of this, also, they get certain secondary gains, sympathy, love. So they do it. Well, that is why, my dear friends, I tell you change your story, change your life. If we find that our story has a lot of limiting beliefs, has a lot of negatives which have to be addressed, any time is okay. Don't say, I'm old, I can't do it. That is again a limiting belief. Age, number, young, old, pretty, handsome, not pretty, ugly, fair, dark, they're all limiting beliefs. It's high time we started rewriting our story. How do you rewrite your story? Analyze your stories. Where are your stories coming from? Who put them onto your head? If you don't remember, doesn't matter. Are these stories true? Okay, you've analyzed your stories. Second, choose a better story. For every story that you have about yourself, why we can do something. There's another story which you can tell yourself. Suppose you weren't smart. That's a story we have in our head. You can tell another story. Who said, I'm not smart? I'm the smartest of the lot. I'm the cleverest. I'm the most efficient. Find that story and hold on to it, right? You've analyzed your story. You have chosen a better story about yourselves and all the negatives which you have held in your head. Next is install new stories. Start telling yourself. We are all storytellers, as I've told you. Start telling new stories at key critical moments until they become your automatic thoughts. Well, we are all meaningful, specific. Light enters the body the minute we are born, and it leaves our body when we die. Life is such a short period. Make the best use of it. Most of us desire two things in life: one is freedom, and the other one is to belong. All right. So, all of us say, I want freedom, I want freedom, I want to be free. But check whether you belong somewhere. First is belongingness, my dear friend. You have to belong to a family, you have to belong to a society, you have to belong to an organization, you have to belong somewhere. Do your duties, do it very well, and then you can enjoy your freedom. You have to belong to a soccer team, and then only you have the freedom to kick your ball. Okay, freedom doesn't come first, belongingness comes first. And the minute you belong, you know there is so much of love, challenges, etc., etc. You cut across all those, and then you can enjoy your freedom. That is what I would like to tell the younger generation too. Freedom comes later, belongingness first. Be an Indian, belong to your country, belong to the universe, belong to the world, and then claim your freedom. So, this is very important, which I wanted to tell each one of you, to be a meaningful, specific, or change your story. Well, Alfred, here I would like to tell a true story. Alfred was a scientist, he was an engineer, he was an inventor, and also a business magnate. By the time he was 55 years old, he had amassed a lot of wealth, and he had invented a very important technology. He patented it and commercialized it for many industries. One day in the year 1888, he got up reading his own obituary in the news. And what did the headline say? It read, "The Merchant of Death is dead." Actually, it was his twin brother, Ludwig, who had passed away, but the press had reported it wrong, saying, Alfred is dead. The Merchant of Death is dead. He was shocked. He was pained. You know why they said the Merchant of Death is dead? Because Alfred's invention was dynamite, which was deployed in construction, it was deployed in warfare, it was deployed in mining, etc. He felt very sad for himself. People should not remember me this way. I feel very sad. And now he began pouring his energy and wealth into creating a legacy which people will ever remember. He instituted the Nobel Prize. Alfred Nobel is his name. Well, Alfred lived a life of outer success, but there wasn't much of inner mastery which he realized because of that obituary in the newspaper. He changed his story, my dear friends, and changed his life. He realized money can do small things to you, but money can do great things through you. Well, this is something which all of us should remember. I think I've almost finished my talk. I hope you liked it, and I hope we would be able to implement what all we read. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you so much for being here with me and listening to whatever little I said. If you have any questions, you may please put it on the to the chat box, which I would be too happy to answer. Suresh, thank you so much. Usha, thank you, Usha, for saying that it was a very good example. You like the story. I'm so happy we all learned so much, uh, at least from such stories which are real. It is not an imaginary story about Gandhiji and about Alfred Nobel. Yeah. Anything else how when Suresh introduced me, my origin goes on to public relations also. I think public relations starts very much from home. Yeah, tell us something about your autobiography. Suresh has asked me, tell us something about your autobiography. Yeah, this autobiography, I only had a thought of writing a book, but I wasn't very clear, and this has been going on for some time, but then I just again a limiting belief. Oh, how could I write? What do I write on? Where's the time for me? I tried to procrastinate it for many years, and then suddenly, you wouldn't believe it just occurred to me 6 months before. I should do something, I should write. And then I said, let me start on with my autobiography because my life has so many incidences. And I wanted to write them before I could forget, because incidences you forget in your life as time moves on, as we are so busy. Then I said, okay. And when I tried, and then I tried a chapter, 2 chapters, it came very well, and then little by little, I started remembering many things, and I put them down. And it is purely on my life, and every word I have written is the truth. And I think even before a year, and I was working in an NGO too at that time, it gave me a lot of value. And that is how I completed the book, which talks about my life, my professional life, my personal life. And I always say there has to be a lot of balance in my physical, social, mental, and spiritual life. And as women, my dear friends, okay, and this is a special, I value diversity, and women are, we are capable of doing lots and lots of things. Even I do respect the Ardhanarishwarar concept. We are all androgynous in nature. We have a lot of women and man, the yin energy and the yang energy in each one of us. And in fact, my book is all about that. Yeah. That's it. And thank you, Usha. You said it's so valuable sharing. I would recommend everyone to hear this repeatedly. Thank you so much. Um, what is one thing about your life you're proud of? What am I proud of? Yeah, I'm proud of many things. Especially now, I'm with the Public Relation Council of India, where I'm the National President of Public Relations Council of India. This is one feather in my cap, and where we value diversity, we value professionalism, and we are 19 years old, the only recognized professional body which gives a lot of strength to PR communicators, advertising people, marcom professionals, everything. And in fact, we have evolved dramatically from most of our limiting beliefs, all of Suresh, and our evolution of public relations has been dramatic. And we, because PR as such, now the definition of public relations itself is changing. It is now you can do it yourself. And the future of PR professionals is we do not exist for ourselves. And another thing is we are very soon launching our 17th Global Conclave on September 21st and 22nd in Delhi. We would like all of you to take part in it. And yeah, and we would like all of you to take part in the 17th Global Conclave on September 21st and 22nd. Suresh, you've asked me, what's your vision for PRCI belonging as a national president? Yeah, diversity, equanimity, equality, and building in a lot more professionalism, and the young communicators, which is another wing of a Public Relation Council of India, where we have the Young Communicators Club, and then under the W World Communicators Council, I would like to add, extend it all over globally, so that PR as its profession develops holistically. As I said, we do not exist for ourselves, and making PR more seen everywhere. Yeah, one advice you wish to give PR professionals of today? Yeah, nothing. I'm not a big person to give advice to everyone, and it is almost like uh, yeah, because now that the entire PR scenario is changing, we again we'll have to concentrate a lot on, I would say, our brand reputation, integrated marketing communication, the social media and content. So a lot of value has to be added more into the existing system. That's what I would say. Yes. Yeah, that is it, my dear friends. Very happy to be amidst all of you and share the little knowledge what I have. Thank you so much. Are we done, or do we have any more questions? Thank you. Ms. Chaudeshwari has joined. Thank you all. Oh, thank you, Mr. Suresh. Thank you so much. Thanks, all of you. Have a great day. Thank you, Usha, and thanks a lot of audience who have logged in. Thank you so much.